what I'd like to talk to you about today is how you can take your bookkeeping and it just be stress-free. I think every agent would love that if they did not have to think about or work getting everything together for their tax return. So I'm going to give you some tips and then I'm going to make some recommendations for you. So if you are that person that is extremely organized in your bookkeeping, kudos to you. I mean, you could probably teach us a few things. So one of the things that we do find with our agents is that they do struggle with this because this is not an area that they get excited about. They are not going to be, devoting the time to take care of this either daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly until the end of the year, and then they're scrambling. And if you fit into that category, then this is going to be a great podcast for you. Welcome to the Unstoppable Real Estate Agents Podcast. I'm your host and real estate productivity expert, Kim Hughes. Join me as we focus on real strategies and implement real solutions designed for you to achieve major success in your business and life while getting you organized. Okay, so tax season is like your birthday. It's coming around whether you want it to or not. So let's just get organized. We are not CPAs, but we are very good at doing your bookkeeping. So what we do is keep track of everything up until the end of the year. Then we wrap it all up in a nice little package and give it to you so that you can hand it over to your CPA, not worry about it. Okay. That is the goal. So what we do, and this is something, when I say we, this is something that you can also do in your business. So it's not just me telling you that we can help you with it. These are the things that I'm going to recommend that you do every single week, month, quarter, and year. So week by week, there's 52 weeks in a year. So what I want you to do is decide, where do you keep all of your bookkeeping? Are you going to keep it in QuickBooks? Are you going to keep it on a spreadsheet? Are you going to throw all your receipts into a shoebox? So the things that we're going to talk about today, you did not learn in real estate school. I'm just going to say that. So this is a part of your business that is probably, if not one of the most important parts. So what I want you to do is look at a program. And I'm going to recommend QuickBooks. It's not expensive, but it's a great way to keep track of everything that you do with your expenses, your income, and everything else. So go look at that. I will put a link below so you don't have to go Google it or anything like that. And then look at the plans. You probably just need to be on the smallest plan. But now, if you want to go with another bookkeeping program, that's fine. If you are a spreadsheet girl or guy, that's fine, as long as you keep up with it. So at the end of every week, I always say take Fridays and use those as your organization day. Now, being an agent, you're probably going to be showing property on Friday or getting ready for the weekend to show property. So maybe you do this on a Monday or a Tuesday, just whatever day of the week, but make it consistent. So put this on your planner that you will do this every week and you will set aside 30 minutes, just 30 minutes. You may not even need 30 minutes because you're going to be so organized. So what I want you to do is every week, and I'm going to say Monday. Let's just say Monday is the day we're doing this. So first thing Monday, I'm going to pull out all of my receipts from the previous week and from the weekend. I'm going to categorize them. I'm going to input them into my QuickBooks and be done. I'm done. Now, I can run reports. I can see how much money I've spent. What did I spend that money on? I can make notes of it so that at the end of the year, I don't have to sit there and try to remember what I did. So if you have something that you're spending money on, and it may be a one-time thing, or maybe you do it a couple of times, make a note of what it was for, because you may not remember at the end of the year. You may have a receipt, you may have it in your QuickBooks, but note, what did you spend that on? And then that's going to trigger your mind. Every week, I want you to look at your finances. After you have created all of your receipts into QuickBooks, I want you to take a look at it and say, was that a necessary spend? Was that a split second type of a spend? What did I do, and did I really need to do that? Then you need to look at,
every week that you do this, look at everything on that time and say, how can I do better? How can I get more organized? How can I quit spending the money when it's really not needed? Okay. For example, I know people are going to come at me, but don't do it. Starbucks. You do not go and spend $10 on a Starbucks. If you are one of those agents that, if you like money, then I'm going to show you with bookkeeping how you can make more money. And one way is, I'm not saying quit going to Starbucks, but you don't have to go every day. You don't have to go 2 or 3 times a day. Go once a week. That's your little treat for accomplishing all of your goals for the week. Go and treat yourself to a Starbucks. Okay. But you spend $10 a day on Starbucks, that's $50 a week. That's a lot of money. I'm sorry, that's a lot of money to spend on coffee. I don't do that. I will splurge every now and then and get a Starbucks, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not see it. So but that's just me. And so I want you to kind of look at where you're spending money and where you can stop the frivolous spending and use that money to go into your business. So let's say you were spending $10 a day at Starbucks, that's $50 a week, then that's $50 you could put into a marketing campaign. That's $50 that you could pay for a stellar program that's going to help you. That could pay for your QuickBooks. Okay. I mean, QuickBooks is, I think, $30 a month. So if you quit spending money on Starbucks, say one day a week you go to Starbucks, then you're saving $40. Put that into a QuickBooks program. Have somebody help you pay, like for us, I'm saying save that money and put it towards us helping you with your bookkeeping. Then you don't have to think about it again. And then we're going to be helping you get your books in order, your statements. We're going to get you organized. We're going to show you where you're spending money, where you shouldn't be, where the money is having a return of investment. Okay, that's what we want. We want everything that you spend have a return of investment. So look at all of the programs that you spend on each month. So now what we're doing is we've done every week of our expenses. And now we're going to sit down at the end of the month and we're going to look at our credit card statement because everything that you're buying with your business should be going on your credit card for your business, not your personal card, not cash, nothing, not your debit card, your credit card specifically for your business. And as you go through that statement, you're going to write out what all you've spent that money on if it doesn't automatically tell you. But then you're going to look at all the programs that you are paying for, all of your real estate fees, your designations, and everything that comes up every year. And then I want you to make a spreadsheet or something that tells you these are monthly expenses and then you have yearly expenses. So then you can kind of look at everything and say, okay, that's due on this time of the month and this is due on that time of the month. So you kind of have an idea of when these programs are going to start charging you. Usually they're the first of the month, but just make sure you know that, okay? Because if you want to cancel a program, and let's say you paid for it on February 1st, and you decide on February 2nd, you don't need that program and you're going to close it, well, if you're not using it, go ahead and close it. But go ahead and close it and letting them know when and make sure you know how long you have that program before it does close. Because you may need to go in there and get information out. Like if you're moving from one CRM to another, before you even call them and tell them you want to cancel, you want to make sure you get all of your business out of there and then call them and then cancel and then the next month. But if it is a program that you're still kind of using and you don't need it because you have another program that does the same thing, then give yourself that grace period of 30 days, close it, but now you have 30 days to either finish using the program, get what you need out of it, or take advantage of something that it offers that you won't be able to get from another one. Simple as pie. And then, so that's your monthly. And then I want you to look at your quarterly. So every quarter, you're going to sit down and look at that quarter of what did you spend money on? Did you spend money on staging a home? Did you buy your seller a front door? What did you do to help sell that property? What did you spend money on? Did you take a client out to lunch? Did you take them out to dinner? Did you do a client event? Where are the expenses for that event? Did you treat your clients to Maybe you had a an event on a Saturday and you invited all of them. And did you buy everybody lunch and drinks and all that? So you need to know where your money is going, right? So looking at everything on a weekly and then a monthly, and now we're looking at everything quarterly, then you can sit there and plan for the next quarter and see where you can cut costs. Because I'm going to tell you right now that you are paying for things that you don't even know you're paying for. You are paying for programs that you might have duplication in another program. So this is where we can help you identify those areas. I don't know if anybody else can do that, but I know that our bookkeepers, they definitely know how to look for frivolous spending and kind of cut back on it and show you ways that you can take that, if you're spending $500 a month, maybe bring it down to $400. Well, guess what? We just saved you $100 a month, and that's $1,200 a year. What are you going to do with that extra money? You're going to put it in the bank? You're going to put it into a marketing campaign? You want to pay for some ads? These are things that you can do if you really start looking at where you're spending your money. And by having it very organized at the end of each month shows you exactly where you are spending money and where you're not. I think that's so important. I will be the first to say this is not my area of expertise. My husband runs the finance side of the company as well as our personal finances. I am always involved. I mean, 100%. But am I the one doing it? No. I'm not good at it. I don't like it. I would rather cut off my hand than sit down and, work in numbers. Um, One thing that I will say is by having someone that can do it for me and then explain it to me, I have learned a lot. I was very blessed when I first started my business that my CPA took me under his wing and he taught me how to run my business on a financial side. And he was a CPA from a Fortune 500 company that retired and came to our little town to retire and just kind of worked with people here and there. And so I was very, very blessed to meet him, have him show me. He was my CPA probably for 10 years. And that was better than my college education. I will say that right now. If you know somebody that knows what they're doing and they take the time to teach you, it is worth its weight in gold. So when you're doing this, you're doing the monthly, now you've done the quarterly, now we're at the end of the year. So here we are, it's January 1st, and you know that between January 1st and April 15th, you have got to get your taxes done. And most likely the sooner the better so that your CPA does not have to file an extension. So if you do not know this, when you file an extension, yes, it gives you a grace period to get your stuff in order, but you're going to be charged for that. And then if you owe money, you're going to be charged for the late fees. So let's look at that. So if you have been an agent that in the past always filed an extension, always paid late, look at how much money you're giving to the IRS just because you did not make it a priority. So by doing it this way, you're ready come January 1st. All you need to do is take one day, couple of hours, go through each month, make sure everything is in order, add anything that you have forgotten, and then wrap it up and take it over to your CPA. He will be so thrilled with you. But here's the thing. Once he gets those taxes done and you have to write a check, then just know that you will write a check based on what you have not been paying throughout the year. So let me take a step back because I did miss one little step, and it's an important one, is as a business owner, you have to pay quarterly taxes based on what you made in the previous year. So if you made $100,000 last year and you're sitting there going, well, I don't know what I'm going to make this year. So how do I know how to project that? Well, you base it on last year. And then you might add a little bit to it, depending on if you think the markets have changed enough so that you can do more business. Okay. I basically say go with what you made last year and add a little bit to it each quarter. And then at the end of the year, when your CPA says, okay, well, you're going to, instead of owing $30,000, you may owe $2,000 because you're paying it every quarter. So every quarter, when you're looking at your finances and everything is in order, that's when you're going to sit down and you're going to write a check to the IRS based on what your calculations are from last year. So if I owe $30,000 in taxes for this year based on my projection, then I'm going to divide that 30 into 4 payments. And then that way, I'm sending in my quarterly payments and I'm not getting penalized. Because if you don't send in that quarterly payment, they are going to penalize you. So that's more money you're going to be spending that you don't need to, because just because you weren't organized and you didn't make it a priority. So I really want you to understand that you really have to sit down and put your big boy cap on and think about what you're doing with your finances. And we are so happy to help you with this. Megan, who is our number one bookkeeper on the team, she has a knack for this. She's very good at it. She is going to help you stay focused on your goals with your finances, make sure that you get everything done. Any questions, she's going to have them, and she's going to put a notation on them. So then at the end of the year, you don't have to do anything but wrap it up and take it to the CPA. And then if your CPA has questions, they can reach out to us and we'll go over it all with them. So that is such a huge win that, to me, by doing that and having, let's say you want to use Megan as your bookkeeper, think of how much money you're going to save each quarter, and then how much money you're going to save each year on your taxes. And then that's going to be worth, again, a huge amount of relief, but also putting money back in your pocket. And so this is such a win-win. And so what I would like for you to do is schedule a call with us and talk to us about how we can help you with your bookkeeping. Everybody is unique and what they need help with. We will do everything we can to help you as long as you meet us halfway, is what I always say. So some of the things that we would do for you is going to be, collect your income statements from all your sources. You're going to collect the statements of deductions, such as your mortgage, the mortgage interest, your child care, car expenses, whatever those may be. And then we're going to organize all your receipts every month and make sure they're categorized correctly so that your CPA will know exactly what to do with them. And then we're going to total your deductible expenses by category so everything is taken care of. So when you sit down and get ready for your CPA to look at last year's taxes, if we're not doing those for you, reach out. We'll help you get those together so that your CPA can get them in an organized fashion. So hopefully we do not have to file an extension. So I want you to really make this a priority. Say next week is the priority. And I want you to sit down and say, I'm going to have everything organized by Friday, and just start doing it. Pull up your statements, print them out, make notes, get them ready. If you don't want to do that, reach out to us. We'll help you do that, and we'll help you go forward. So I hope that this information was very helpful. It's very important, and agents just don't like doing it. I mean, it's kind of like my husband will tell me that he says, you hate to invoice your clients. And I'm like, yes, I do. I really hate doing that. And the reason why I hate doing it is because, well, for one, I know I deserve to be paid, but it's one of those things where I just don't like to sit down and invoice, but I have to do it. I'm the only one that can do it. I can't delegate it. It's one thing that I cannot take off my plate. But it's one thing that I can do and then hand it over to him, and he proofreads everything that I do to make sure that I've done it correctly, and then he takes care of everything else. So everything that I was doing, and I was doing it wrong, was now given to him because my husband he's a finance guy. He's the guy to keeps everything to a penny. We've been married 40 years. We have bank accounts that are 40 years old in the same bank, and they all balance to the penny every month. And if they don't, he's going to look for that penny. Believe me. So that's why I want you to know that if this is not your area of expertise, there are people out there that love doing this and they're really good at it. And one of them is Megan, who is on our team. So let her help you. Let her help you get organized and get that taken care of before the 15th of this year, and then help you stay organized going forward. So down and below, you will find that there is a link to schedule a call with us. Doesn't cost you anything but a few minutes. We offer 15, maybe 30-minute calls, but it's one that you will walk away with that you can take action on. So I look forward to hearing from you, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you know someone, and I bet you do, who would appreciate this podcast, please share it with them. As a reminder, this podcast can be delivered directly to your favorite device by using the subscribe links you can find in the show notes below or over at unstoppablerealestateagents.com. Remember, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Have a great day.